So a few weeks ago, I posted up a video showing you how streaming from Xbox One works to the PC, and I also showed you why that was useful for some. And a lot of people were left wondering if we're ever going to be able to do the reverse, which is stream our PC games to the Xbox One. And the answer is yes, it's coming. So according to Phil Spencer, it's definitely something that they are working on, but he says they need to implement full mouse and keyboard controls first on the Xbox One, and he says that isn't far off. So, one, I'm glad that PC streaming is coming because I'd rather sit and play on my big screen, and yes, I know I could already run an HDMI if I want to all the way to my PC and do it like that and use up one of my ports and I guess disable one of my monitors that I'm currently using. But I'd rather not have to go through all that work, and so this would just be a whole lot easier. But if full mouse and keyboard support is coming to the Xbox One, then of course that is going to open up a whole host of other questions. So everybody wants to know, how is that going to work? Because mouse is a lot more accurate than an analog stick. That's why console games have aim assist turned on. And so some are going to be fearful, of course, that this is going to become an unfair advantage to some. So especially like in first-person shooter games. And some people are already freaking out about the Xbox Elite controller that they have coming out because they feel like that's going to give some people an upper hand or an advantage. So moving over to mouse would give them an even bigger advantage. Some games, of course, it doesn't matter what you use. If you're playing a third-person action-adventure game or whatever else, or a racing game, those don't matter. But whenever you're talking about first-person shooters, accuracy really could have an impact on certain games. Now, there's already certain devices on the market that allow you to use keyboard and mouse right now. You don't have to wait for this update. You can do this on the PS4 or the Xbox One. But with those devices that you can currently buy, what they're doing is they're basically just emulating the controls. So they aren't nearly as useful or accurate as what you're going to find if it's native, on the PC. So how will this work? How will this be implemented? One option could be that, they just not implement it on every game possible so that you couldn't use this, say for instance, on Gears or Halo or whatever else that they have coming out, but that you could use it on certain cross-platform games that they have with Windows 10. So that, would leave some people without the huge advantage in those games where it really matters. But according to one major Windows website that reports on all sorts of news coming out of Microsoft, they said the other option that Microsoft is looking at is smart matchmaking and letting you decide as the player whether or not you want to be matched up and playing against other groups of people who may be using a mouse and keyboard. Or you could set it to where you only want to play with people who have controllers, or you can do both or whatever else. And so that way they could still leave aim assist on for the controller if you're in those rooms, or you can have the precision of a mouse, which is what most PC games do already. So as long as it doesn't split up the community too bad, I guess that's probably one of the better options. But I guess we're just going to have to wait till Microsoft actually comes out and tells us how this is going to work before we know for sure. But what I've said over the years for a very long time now is I don't see why your Xbox couldn't basically be your PC for your living room. Have it play all your games, including your PC games. Be able to use it for apps and everything else that you want to do. And with it having Windows 10, with it having all the apps, with it having mouse and keyboard support, I don't see why it's not just that, And that's also going to mean, as I've said before, more games. You're going to have access to all the games that are exclusive to PC currently that you can't get on console. Plus, you're just going to have those libraries just merged together. And as I've said before, as a consumer, I want my products to do as many things as possible. So every new feature that it gets, to me, that just means it's getting better. So as long as it stays fair, then I see this as a good thing when it comes to playing your PC games on your Xbox in your living room, and also having an option to use mouse and keyboard. Post your thoughts below. Would you use any of these features Would you play your PC games on the big screen, or would you be interested in using another accessory as an input? What would be the best way to implement it? That does it for me, the Red Dragon. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.